Any of you play games a lot in here? What's the first hack you would try if you could destroy terrain?
Try to make the ceiling fall.
Well, you can try to make the ceiling fall. What happens when you die in a game? You respawn. Okay? You basically come alive at a certain point. So what would happen if you started drilling a hole into the respawn point? So you drill a hole into the respawn point, and eventually the level is finite. You get down to just nothingness. So that happens in games. They build what's called a kill plane. If you fall off the level or something bad happens and the physics goes haywire, you get shot. You fall below the kill plane, you die. Okay, so we built our game, and somebody immediately thought, well, that'd be cool. I'll go through and I'll drill a hole all the way through the earth down to the kill plane. So basically, you come alive and you fall. So as soon as you come alive, you immediately start falling. You have no way to hit any terrain to survive. So you fall into the kill plane. Okay, so that was the first thing that happened. Now the funny thing that happened on this is when you build games, they're bugs. If you play games before, you'll see they're bugs that happen. Sometimes they're exploited to be fun. Sometimes they're just an annoyance. In our particular game, we made a mistake. We didn't reset your velocity when you died. So what does that mean? It means that you were falling and you died. Well, if you're standing on ground, you just stop. We didn't take damage when you hit the ground. Our simulation wasn't that good. But if you're falling, you hit the kill plane, and you respawn, you have your same velocity, and you continue to accelerate. We had no friction, so you would fall and die, then fall faster than die, then fall faster than die. And literally, people would be like racking up, dozens of kills a second by the time they were done from falling so fast. So what I'm getting at is that physics is often an object of, I will say, fun. Okay? Building good physics engines is actually a tricky thing. And so what you're going to see is there's actually, in these games you're going to see right here, we're going to see that there's actually been a lot of work on this. In fact, people have actually built kind of open source physics engines that actually go on chips now. And so physics is actually a great thing if you want to do games. You actually are very valuable. So Asher, you want to go ahead and show them some of the games?
Yeah. The first game we're going to show is, you might have heard of, it's called Halo, particularly Halo 3. So who hasn't heard of Halo? It would need an explanation of what it is. Really? Nobody?
Why don't you set it up and I'll explain Halo. So this is an Xbox. I've played enough Halo, I can explain Halo. So this is an Xbox 360, for those who haven't seen. It's a game console, so you don't need a computer to play Halo. It's a machine that you essentially buy. It has DVDs you place inside. It has games. In fact, there's a very, why don't you deal with the AV there. The thing about these consoles, the reason for the growth is quite interesting. You might say, well, I could just put it on a DVD and play it on my computer. The reason consoles are actually very popular are two reasons. First, they have dedicated hardware that you can't get in a computer. But the more important thing is it allows them to control the game. Okay? Games can be pirated very easy on PCs. But it's very hard to pirate a game on an Xbox. So this allows them to basically kind of control and make money. You want to talk about how it's working?
Yeah, so, let's plug in the audio. Audio is like one of those things that's actually like adds so much more to the believability of the game. Okay, so the thing about the Halo physics engine is that the game records every single thing you do. And so after you finish a game, you can go back and analyze the replay and see exactly how things happened the way they did. This is actually a game that we played on my birthday, April 3rd of this year. So raise your hand if you were playing Halo with me. So some of you are in this, and we're going to see some of the cool things that have happened in this game. The first thing I'll show you is backing up a little bit. Was it 2240? Yeah. So this is replaying things exactly as they happened the first time, and I can even speed up the time a little bit. So okay, here I am.
So let me make a couple of comments real quick while he's doing the thing here, because I want to point out a few things to understand. So the first thing is, what's the environment made out of? It's made out of triangles. A whole bunch of triangles. The triangles have colors painted on them, called textures. So an artist sit down and design this entire environment. Very good artists, they get paid a lot of money. This is being rendered by the computer. Now the second thing is, you can see here we have two humans. They've got weapons. The humans move around. Now the motions aren't dictated by basic physics. It's too complicated to model the motion of humans based on physics. We don't understand it well enough yet. We can't make a robot walk like a human can in any reasonable way. But we can hack it. We can build things where we simulate a skeleton in somebody and record the motion of existing humans walking, so what's called motion capture, and then play that back on an existing skeleton. So we have an actor run around and pretending they're shooting their weapons, jumping, crawling. We capture their motions. We then play that back onto the existing skeleton on the person here. Now they have weapons. Those weapons have physics attached to them. And that physics is more realistic.
So we're actually in this. This is actually so. This I'm in the red here. This is Corey.
This is Corey about to die.
This is Corey in the blue, right? And this is at the very end of this game. We're playing capture the flag, and this is coming down to the wire. And so our objective is to kill each other, obviously. But if you notice what we're doing is we're working around this warthog. So I dropped this grenade, and let me back that up a little bit just so you can see that happening. Okay, here I come. When the grenade lands, it lands behind, well, there are two actually. Yeah, one I threw here landed under the Jeep. When it exploded, grenades in Halo tend to give everything like this unnatural amount of angular momentum. So they tend to flip around very easily. And so here you can see Corey hiding behind, using this for cover as he's
Let me make a couple of comments about this watch. So the Jeep is not one rigid object. They modeled the Jeep at a level of having struts, wheels that are flexible. It can essentially torque. So the physics is actually much more sophisticated than what I showed with the disc bouncing around. So one of the things he talked about is it has a tendency to rotate a lot. Is that can be by the fact that the simulator is not very good, or it can be because they think it's fun to have things spin around more. It's often unclear whether it's a bug or a feature. But the thing that comes out, and you'll see this in lots of racing games, is that games try to deliver more and more realistic physics to deliver better gameplay. So for example, if you get a NASCAR racing game, the level of simulation is actually quite amazing. And they'll simulate it down to chassis, axles, all essentially behaving in a way that is fairly faithful to how a real NASCAR behaves.
So what you saw there, it wasn't cowardice, I was actually playing. I mean, Corey is the best player, one of the best players I've ever played against, and I do tend to run away from him. But I actually had a plan here. So I expected him to follow me around the corner, and he didn't, but I was waiting for him here. And this sort of shows off just how good some certain games have gotten at manipulating Euclidean geometry. So watch what he does here. This is pretty impressive. So he jumps up, sees me, I see him, I let loose, right? And I'm pretty good aim, so I'm actually hitting him. And he almost dies at this point because he's got like 50 bullet holes in him. Right at this point, he lets loose a grenade, right? At just the right instant, right as he falls, it gets over the wall and lands exactly underneath. And at this point, and I know he's coming back to me, and I'm low on health. So
notice how the Jeep flexed when it landed on the ground there.
So once again, I hide. And he doesn't see me. But at this point, he gets distracted with killing one of our other teammates. Who is this here exactly? I think this is either. My tag is DJ Griffiths, by the way. Oh, this is EJ.
No,
is he here? Oh, Ram, is it Chris? Oh, it's you, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're about to die. Yeah.
That was EJ.
Yeah. So here, this is the animation system going into what they call ragdoll physics, where they're not actually. So as soon as you die, you're essentially treated like a ragdoll, and you just sort of bounce around the train.